for cultural relevance in education is nothing new. Kumu can and must make learning culturally meaningful and purposeful to our OEV learners and their communities by respecting and honoring the culture of this aina, of Hawaii nei. Aloha mai kākou. In this wikiō, we will briefly review some easy ways in which you, as a kumu of OEV learners here at A'apueo Maui, can enhance your own cultural relevance in big and small ways. No leila, e lu'ui ho kākou. Let's dive right in. Helu e kahi. Number 1, educate with aloha. Yes, we know aloha as love and compassion, but I am going to push you to think of the other ways that we as educators show aloha to our haumana. Sometimes aloha can be instances where we are presented with challenges and tough love is necessary. That's aloha too. At the core of our actions as kumu, we are always keeping the best interests of our haumana in mind. Helu e lua. Explore your own culture and language. When we think about Hawaiian culture-based education, we oftentimes assume that there's only room for Hawaiian culture to exist in this space. A ole loa. You, as a kumu of OEV learners, come with your own set of cultural beliefs and practices and language, and therefore, it's just as important to bring that experience and that lens into the classroom. I think the key with exploring your own identity, culture, and language is finding ways to bridge the gap between your own experience and the experience of your haumana. Helu e kolu. Participate in ongoing professional development on effective strategies for educating children in culturally and linguistically diverse classrooms. We are given so many opportunities for PD. There's no shortage. The emphasis here is on participate. Yes, I know, little giggle here, but it's an active process. We as kumu go through an iterative, active process where we're always changing and we're always continually going back to the drawing board and reevaluating our approaches. Sometimes those changes are big and sometimes we make small tweaks here and there. But really, when we go through professional development and increase our ʻike, our foundational ʻike, then we can better make those tweaks, big and small, to better our learners. Helu e ha. Number 4. Learn about family, community, and places as valuable resources to inform teaching and learning. You know, there is a popular olelo no eau that you may have heard before, but it goes makahana ka ʻike, and it translates to in doing one learns. And when I think about number 4 and this piece of advice for kumu of OEV learners, how to create cultural relevance, in doing one learns. Go out into the community and go out and see these places that are so significant to us as Hawaiians, and immerse yourself in those experiences. Immerse yourself and develop pilina with these people and these places so that you have a better understanding of the families, communities, and places that your haumana come from. Oftentimes we have, as kumu, yes, we have a life, and maybe going out into these places can't happen as often as we'd like. Another way to learn about these aspects is through your own reading and through your own education. And so linked at the bottom of this page, we will provide a list of aina-based organizations and Hawaiian serving organizations that you can join and be a part of. In addition to that, we'll also include some readings so that you can continue to grow your foundational ʻike about family, ohana, community, or kaiaulu, and aina, or places that are valuable to Kalahui, Hawaii. Helu e lima. Number 5. Build relationships and respect by learning about the prevalent cultural beliefs and values of your haumana. This one, totally a no-brainer. We know that pilina, or relationships, are important and at the core of what we do here at A'apueo Maui. How can we do this? How can we accomplish this? How can we build that pilina? There's so many easy ways, but it really starts from casual encounters with your haumana and getting to know them, or with your colleagues and friends. Being inquisitive and keeping an open mind, and actually showing that interest in wanting to know more about those cultural beliefs and values. This is directly tied to our Eola learner outcome, kupono. Outside of those typical casual encounters, another way you can learn more about those is there are some really awesome social media accounts. For those of you who actively participate in social media and would like to delve a little bit deeper, we will include at the bottom of this page a list of some social media accounts that we suggest that can help you to deepen your learning and understanding around cultural beliefs and values of Kalahui, Hawaii. Helu e ono. Respond in a positive and affirming way to the cultures, languages, and interests of all haumana through mea mea mea. Regardless of what level we're teaching at, the one thing that all our haumana have in common here is that they are all Hawaii, they are all Hawaiian, they are all OUV learners. Our job as kumu is to create that positive and affirming space to acknowledge those cultural differences, but also to reframe them as resources, or as superpowers, if you will, rather than deficits. One quote that I love to share from Kalahui o Kapo, an organization based on Oahu, is they say, "You simply being born as a native Hawaiian is an act of resilience." Really framing it for us as your birth alone as a native Hawaiian today serves as your superpower. And so thinking about how can we as kumu of our OEV learners help to tap into those superpowers, help our haumana to feel that being Hawaiian is an advantage in all the spaces that they interact with. Helu e hiku, number 7. Use the cultural language of the haumana in instruction and learning. This one's also another obvious one, and we know the importance of Olelo Hawaii within the context of Hawaiian culture-based education. But I want you to think and reflect upon your own journey with Olelo Hawaii. And maybe we have to be a little bit real with ourselves right now. We are all at different places in our journey. Some of us feel very confident and mākaukau in Olelo Hawaii, where others maybe we're just starting to get our feet wet and learning puana or pronunciation. Regardless of where you are at with your current journey in learning Olelo Hawaii, the main thing that we need to do as kumu of OEV learners is to make a conscious effort. Start small. Start with little phrases that you can use in your classroom that are contextually appropriate. Whether it's how to ask to go to the bathroom or to ask a question, those common phrases, or even the common vocab that you see emerge within your lumi papa. We call this peppering your olelo. Yeah, think of just adding a little bit of seasoning here and there within your English. We do know that we can't all be fluent just like that, but if we start with peppering our olelo, that is one quick, easy way to embed Olelo Hawaii within our instruction and learning for our haumana. Helu e walu. Promote the value of storytelling. This one is so funny. I have a quick story I want to tell. When hanging out with some friends from New Zealand, we always say, we talk story. But a friend pointed out to me that, you Hawaiians, you guys really do talk story. Whenever you hang out with your family or your friends, the conversation is a bunch of little anecdotal stories. You're like, this one time I went here, or the other day I went here and this happened. It's a bunch of little stories compacted together, and that's the typical conversation when you hang out with you Hawaiians. I thought that was really funny because maybe we we do this and we maybe don't even realize. And so storytelling in itself is a very Hawaiian and local thing to do. That is one sure way to create cultural relevance for us as kumu, using the power of storytelling to engage, but also to encourage haumana to become storytellers themselves, bringing in stories from their makua, kupuna, ohana, or the community and aina they live in. Those are all ways that we can encompass storytelling as well as ʻike kupuna, or ancestral knowledge, in our curriculum, in our lumipapa. Helu eiva. Provide instruction to haumana to validate their own culture while also teaching them diverse skill sets that they will need for success in a global society. What it really comes down to with this one is finding that balance. We want to, again, tap into their superpower as a Native Hawaiian and the ʻike and the pride that brings, but also set them up for success in a global society. This addresses the myth of thinking that ʻike Hawaii or Hawaiian culture-based education is rooted in the past and is kind of stagnant in that way. A'ole loa, not at all. I am here to bust that myth and tell you that there are so many ways that we as Native Hawaiians in the 21st century can create spaces on a global scale for us to shine, really. So you as a kumu in your content area is to figure out, how do you find that balance between the two? That balance between ʻike Hawaii and 21st century global societal success. Helu umi. Number 10. Alter instruction to include individual, small group, and cooperative learning experiences. Present instructional activities in various formats to include learning styles of all haumana. Yet another one that's pretty straightforward, and I feel that, if we're good educators, we know our haumana, we know what works, and we're able to adapt accordingly. Because we also know that every set of haumana, whether it's a block or a semester or a year, we have different haumana. So being able to adapt is a sure way for us to create that cultural relevance, because adapting requires pilina. Helu umi kumakahi. Number 11. Reflect on and develop ways to assess haumana learning and mastery in real-world applications and in ways that are culturally meaningful and purposeful. I think the emphasis here is meaningful and purposeful. When we look at real-world applications, our haumana naturally become more engaged because they realize what's at stake. And they realize that, hey, I can use this outside of the classroom walls. We can look to the Aola learner outcome, Malama and Kuleana, and connect it directly to this manaʻo. Our kuleana as kumu is to help our haumana to develop that passion and those skill sets that they can utilize in everyday situations to serve their community and to serve in larger global contexts. And last but not least, helu umi kumalua. Number 12. Always have high expectations for all of your haumana. When we look at Aola, this is the epitome of kulia, or striving for excellence. But it is our kuleana as kumu to set up those standards and those spaces where haumana can strive and feel comfortable to do so within the four walls of our lumipapa. With all these manaʻo in mind, we can begin to address the gaps in our individual understandings about culturally relevant, culture-based, and culturally responsive education, and help to actualize Aola here at A'apueo.